Matt, at the United States Navy Memorial. Welcome. If I could please have your name and rank.
Well, I'm Kenneth Glass. My present rank, retired rank, is Captain in the Navy.
Fantastic.
But I retired off active duties in Lieutenant JG.
Great. And sir, if you could just start us off from the very beginning, when you first joined the Navy, and just bring us up.
When the war broke out, I had been trying to get into the Navy as a Navy pilot in the aviation program before the war started. But I only had 2 years of college at that time, and you had to be 21 and a 4-year college degree in order to qualify for the aviation program. So when the war broke out, I immediately went to the recruiting station and tried again. At that time, I was living on a farm. I was a farm boy from Iowa. And as it turned out, my physical was great. I was able to pass the mental tests and so on. And so they accepted me. And this was in May, I guess, May of 42.
Okay. And
then in June of 42, I was called to active duty at Minneapolis Naval Air Station. That's where I did my E-base training. And I was there, let's see, I got there in June and I left about mid-August for Corpus Christi.
Okay.
And while I was there, I completed a month of ground school, had about soloed and had maybe about 45 hours of flight training. I can tell you a little side story where my first flight, actually the first flight I ever had in an airplane was my first training flight. That was the first time I was ever in an airplane.
Wow.
And in those days you had to carry the parachute of the flight instructor out to the airplane and put it in his cockpit, and then you carried yours out in the cockpit. And anyways, I was kind of excited and I forgot to fasten my seatbelt. So we got up in the air and did a little familiarization around the area. He kind of showed me where the area was, and all at once he did a slow roll. My God, I started to fall out of the plane, so I started grabbing at the edge of the cockpit and everything I could get my hands on. I visualized my Navy career ending right there. But anyway, plane came back around and I flopped back in the seat and I got that old seatbelt fastened harness on, and so that was that. But then he said, Glass, I'm gonna let you take the controls. Well, hell, I've never had my hands on an airplane in my life. And of course he realized that after a few minutes that I had never flown an airplane. But anyway, that was kind of early experience I had. And from there I went to Corpus Christi, and I finished down there my flight training January 1st. So from the time I had my first flight till I was able to finish and get my wings, and my commission was about 7 months, which was, unbelievable. And my friends ask me about an hour sometimes when I give a talk. I said I hardly had time to comb the hayseeds out of my hair before they were calling me an officer and a gentleman. So from Corpus Christi, I went to Miami, what they called pre-operational, and flew some of the old planes that were back in the fleet. They were real dogs, like the TBD that got clobbered midway, an old bi-wing SBC, and I don't know, a whole bunch of Chance Vought. And from there, that's where I lost my first roommate. He killed himself trying to do a split S2 landing, dumb. And from there I went to Jacksonville for operational training. That's where I first started flying the plane I would eventually fly in combat, the TBF, Grumman Avenger. And after a couple months there, I went on to Glenview Naval Air Station and had my first 8 carrier landings on the Wolverine, the USS Wolverine, which was a converted passenger ship. I don't know if you've seen pictures of her or not. Just a flat deck